So on workbook page 140, you were assigned number 13 last night. But you stopped at the exact answer. Okay? So, you had to first determine what trig function you're going to use. I've always said use what is printed on the piece of paper. We're going to use the angle measurement, 57 degrees. We need to label our sides. This is the opposite leg. This here is the adjacent leg. And this is the hypotenuse. So, to solve for A, you always need to use the side length that you know and the one that you're looking for. So what trig function am I going to have to use to solve for A? What trig function do I have to use to solve for A? It's not sine, and it's not sin either. Tangent. Tangent. Because it involves opposite leg, the one that I actually know, and I'm searching for my adjacent leg. So to solve for A, I must use tangent. So tangent of my angle is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. So that's 14 divided by my adjacent leg, which happens to be the variable A. That's a coincidence. The variable A is not always going to be your adjacent leg, so don't get in that habit. The next thing that you do is put the trig function over 1. Once you have that, now it looks like a proportion, cross multiply. When you cross multiply and divide, you will eventually get that A is 14 divided by tangent of 57. We're going to do the same thing for B. I'm still going to use what's printed. I'm still going to use my angle of 57 degrees. I'm still going to use my opposite leg that is 14 because that's printed. However, now I have my opposite leg and now I'm searching for my hypotenuse. What trig function involves opposite leg and hypotenuse? Sine. So sine of my angle 57 is equal to my opposite leg, which is 14, divided by my hypotenuse, which is represented by the variable B. What's my next step? Say it louder. Well, whatever one. The sine. Always put the trig function over 1. Doesn't matter what it is. Sine, cosine, tangent. Put the trig function over 1. Now it looks like a proportion. And do the cross product. When you take this cross product and then you divide and you get the variable by itself, eventually you're going to get that B is equal to 14 divided by the sine of 57. So what I currently have written in green ink are my 2 exact answers. I'm always going to write the exact answers and put those in boxes, in rectangular boxes. But now we need to use our calculators to get the rounded answers. We need to type this correctly into our calculator. Always make sure sorry about that. Always make sure that your calculator is in the correct mode. We need to be in which mode? Degrees. So the way that you do that is you hit the mode button next to the second button, and you make sure that is in degrees. And so if I do that on mine, yes, we can see that degree is selected. So that's exactly what I want. So hit second quit. These here are from member 17 on that same page, but we are going to type in for these on whatever number this is. I forgot now. So remember, I need you, just like fractions, to put the trig function in its own set of parentheses. So we're actually going to add these right here. We're going to add some parentheses when we type it into our calculators. So this is what it's going to look like. Let's get rid of all that. We're first going to do the variable A. So the variable A, its exact answer is 14 divided by, I'm going to add in an open parentheses, and then I'm going to type in my function, which is tangent of 57. And then I have to put in 2 parentheses so that I'm closing both. We entered in this one, and so that parentheses closing. This one, whenever you type that trig function in, it's always going to enter automatically another open set of parentheses, and you have to close that one as well. So that's why we had to put 2 at the end. And then we hit enter. So we get 9.0917, so on and so forth. So, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to ask you to round to the nearest tenth. How many decimal places is that after? How many? 1. So this is 9 point. Currently it says 0. Depending on what the value is to the right, that dictates if it's going to stay at 0 or go up to 1. What is it in this case? Going up to 1, because if that number to the right is 5 or greater, it goes up to the next value. So my rounded answer, notice how I'm circling this answer, because it's rounded. That's my rounded answer. Do the same thing for B. We're going to type this into our calculator. Okay, so I got 14 divided by the sine of 57, which is 16.6930. So I've got 16 points. Is it going to stay 6 or go up to 7? Go up to 7, because the number next to it, which is a 9, that's 5 or greater, so it goes up to 7. I'm going to circle that number because it's rounded. So on your quiz, which is next class, next time I see you is Wednesday the 30th. This will be on the quiz. The first part's going to be real easy, like you writing those ratios. But like you know all the side lengths, and so you're just going to be saying, oh, the cosine of measure of angle A is this over this. Then I'm actually going to have you start solving for missing side lengths. You're going to give me the exact answer, and you're also going to give me the rounded answer. I'm going to need to see both. Okay, so everybody at home, no matter what they have access to, everybody can give me the exact answer. Because you do not use your calculator until you get to this point. So some of you do not have these at home. That's fine. I'm not asking you to go buy one of these. I'm not asking that. However, with all the technology nowadays, no matter if you have an Android or an iOS phone, an Apple phone, there's tons of applications out there that you can find and make it so that you can get the trig functions and actually get these rounded answers. But I'm not going to force, I'm not going to go to each one of your phones and make sure you have something like that. I'm not doing it. So, for the homework, you can stop here and then I'll give you, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes at the beginning of the next class. You can quickly type in all those rounded answers if you don't have access to these at home. So any questions about getting the exact answer or typing into your calculator and getting the rounded answers? Okay. Excuse me.